Rage games. Games so difficult, they're not fun anymore. But you keep playing them anyway, for some reason. This week, we're gonna make one. Alright, I kinda wanna make something with soft body physics. In most 2D physics engines, like Box2D, which is used in Unity, all physics objects are rigid, meaning they can't bend or stretch. A soft body, on the other hand, can deform, jiggle around, be crushed by other objects. Much cooler. Okay, let's start up Unity and get to work. I've actually messed around with soft body stuff before, so let's just steal that, and everything works perfectly. So I wrote this code about 3 years ago, and it's kind of awful. I ended up looking around online and eventually got it working. Alright, I think we need a character. Beautiful. Wait, hold on a second. If Unity doesn't support soft bodies, then how does this code work? Well, the soft body is really just a bunch of smaller rigid bodies connected together with spring joints. The texture on top is UV mapped to a mesh that is deformed based on the position of the rigid bodies. Understand? Yeah, me neither. But it works. Now let's give him the ability to jump. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, that's not better. Alright, there we go. And while we're at it, let's give our blob guy movement in other directions, because that could be kinda useful. If I'm gonna do this right, I'll need to follow the rules of the modern Rage game. 1. The controls are frustrating and hard to master. 2. Making a small mistake could potentially lead to a huge loss in progress.
Oh, it happened again. Keep on trying.
And 3. Difficulty doesn't come from randomness, so it should be possible to actually become skilled at the game. Alright, difficult controls. Right now it's way too easy to control our blob. To fix this, I made an arrow that just spins around, and you have to time it right to jump in a certain direction. And you can also stick to stuff. Why not? This works by forming temporary physics joints between the individual rigid bodies and the ground. Next, I threw on a camera follow script and built a small level to jump around in. So yeah, this is the idea for the game. You control this blob guy, and will have to stick your way up one huge level, where you'll have plenty of opportunities to mess up and fall back to the bottom. Okay, we've got the main mechanics down. Time for some graphics. I first added a light to the scene and slapped a normal map on Mr. Blob to get this fancy shading effect. Then I made a color palette, which I used to start designing some of the images, like this terrain piece. For the terrain, I'll try out Unity's Sprite Shape package, which lets you make cool shapes like this. I also made a metal beam thing and a slightly better player sprite. Maybe I'll try some moving platforms. Kind of feel like I've done this before. There we go. Easy. Now let's add some metal spikes that make Blobman explode. Actually, I don't think the spikes really fit the game too well, so there's a few hours wasted. Alright, the background is looking kind of empty, so I made a few different layers in Affinity Designer and rigged them up in Unity with this nice parallax effect. Okay, I think I have an actual new idea for a type of platform. This one you can't stick to, so you have to be careful to land on it perfectly and not slide off. For the next 2 or 3 days, I just worked on building up the map, which is kind of boring to watch, and I don't really want to spoil it anyway, if anyone actually wants to play it. So now we can start polishing things up. I made some simple animations for the arrow, so it sort of pops out and then fades away to show what direction you stopped at. Wow. And of course, because I made it, this game has a million bugs. So I'll try to fix some of those, I guess. And to finish everything up, I worked on the game audio by recording some sound effects, and then adding in some music. So what did I learn from making a rage game? Well, making a hard game is easy, but making a hard game that people actually want to play is pretty hard. I guess that, oh yeah, apparently since my last upload, the channel hit 1,000 subscribers. Actually, it went a little bit further than 1,000. So thanks YouTube for forcing my videos upon everyone. And thanks everyone for actually watching them. That's all I've got.